Good afternoon, everybody. In the last one, I didn't have quite enough wood to finish up all of these spindles on the ramp, so I went and bought some more, and I got all of that done yesterday afternoon. So now that the ramp is complete, we can move on to the next big project, which is potentially going to be the most transformative so far, and that is we're going to be cladding the outside of the cabin. So we're using wood cladding, which we are fixing horizontally. So we need to have an air ventilation gap behind that. So in order to do that, we need to fit battens vertically. So then when the cladding is on like that, airflow can get behind and just keep it nice and cool behind there, keep any moisture moving out in the winter. So any gap on the cabin is obviously vulnerable to us having lodgers, whether they're going to be insects or rodents. So we need to make sure the gap is blocked up. You can get kind of ready-made profiles that you fit along the bottom. They're like a 90-degree with a mesh on, but I couldn't find them anywhere. So I'm improvising, and I've managed to get this kind of insect screen. It's an aluminium one because that's going to stop the rodents, hopefully, gnawing through it. I'm going to try and cut it down into 10-centimeter strips so you can fix part of it to the house and then it wrap kind of underneath the batten and onto the front. Hopefully the chop saw is going to do a clean job of just push, push, push. Let's give it a go. Okay, that worked. I got covered in tiny little pieces. Let's cut this side really nice and clean. It's absolutely nuked this one. Don't know if this is the right thing to do. Can't think of any other way to do it apart from maybe hacksaw. Working in this afternoon sun is not for the weak, let me tell you. I seem to forget every single year just how intense and brutal the Portuguese summer sun is. And all of a sudden, before you know it, boom, it's landed and I'm struggling and I'm moaning to you, which I don't like doing, so I'll pipe down. I need to get working back inside again soon so I can quit my belly aching. Anyways, the mesh is now on top and bottom. It's got a little chainmail mini skirt on. I don't know if I explained it very well before, so if you imagine just the battens will be vertically like that, and then this will wrap around, get stapled to there. Obviously it will go along all of them, going across every single batten like that, and then cladding on top. So in theory that should stop any critters getting up and getting in where we don't want them. So these battens are going to be connecting to the studs in the wall behind, and although in theory I've spaced everything at 400mm on centres, something might have happened or things just moved 20-30mm along as I've connected all the wall up and I just haven't noticed. So I'm just double checking with the stud finder because I need these battens to have a really strong connection because they are what's holding up the cladding, and the cladding is surprisingly weighty.
looking good. You've got more done than I thought you would have done.
Yeah, it's relatively easy as long as I just get them in the right place for the studs.
I have actually brought you a drink to spur you on a little bit.
Oh, and a lovely
Something cold and caffeinated.
a girly cup. Thank you.
What else?
You're trying to get out before it gets too hot.
Yeah, Harrison was going to show you off his new crab hat. How cute's that? But then he got too tired, so he's just chilling in there. It's cute. This video is sponsored by Suri. Since Harrison arrived, life is wonderful, but it is busier than ever. So we are trying to make day-to-day life more efficient wherever possible. One area that I've already got sorted though is brushing my teeth. This is my Suri 2.0 toothbrush, and unlike my old one where I had to remember to charge it every other day, this one has a battery that lasts for 30 days, so I just never need to think about it. I've been using it for just shy of a year and my teeth feel amazing because it gives a dentist level clean. And when I was in hospital, the travel case was so handy for storing the toothbrush, but it does have a secret little weapon. It's got a little button here, press it, and it's got a UV light that will kill 99.9% of bacteria in just 1 minute. And if you like a clutter-free sink, who doesn't, you can store it on the magnetic mirror mount. So if you'd like to get your hands on one of these, which I highly recommend, click our link in the description and use our code LIFELIVING to get 15% off. It is by far the best toothbrush that I've ever had.
I'm halfway through battening the front of the cabin, and it's dawned on me that I just don't have a solution to be able to get across and do all of the rest of it because of the ramp. That is not a safe angle to be using a ladder. I mean, I could probably just about get by on it to get the battens up because it's just going straight up. But when I come to put the cladding on, I definitely need something that's a bigger, longer, more stable solution. I thought about having the ladder here and running something long across to the platform so I could get up, but I just don't have anything long enough. Giggity. It's in situations like these where I wish I could draw upon the collective hive mind out there, but the reality is by the time any of you lot give me any answers, I'll have done it, found some way of doing it, even if it's wrong, and I'll be on to the next thing. But yeah, tens of thousands of brains are certainly better than my little puny one. But yeah, I haven't got time to waste today, so I'm gonna have to have a bit of a brainstorm later on. I'm gonna leave the front for now, crack on and get the side done, and I'll come back and do the front tomorrow once I have a bit of a clue as to what to do. Right, give me your best idea, because anything I've got's a little bit precarious.
I've got no good ideas, but you have. Shout them.
Hey, we're busy at work here, do you mind?
So what if you just have something coming off of here that's flat, so you fix it onto there somehow, and then make it so you've got a little flat platform.
Well, the thing is, it needs to be wide.
With something going off. Or...
Yeah, but then what you're suggesting there is something coming out thin. Think of the load on that thing there, it's going to flex like mad.
Okay.
So you'd be in the realms of like, you want to build a whole platform. It just seems a bit overkill just to get a small area.
Hey,
we're busy. We're busy. 2 minutes. Let mummy use her brain.
Would decorators' stilts be right? Bit of circus time?
If I could go and buy a pair now from the shops, I'd give it a go, but
Okay.
it'll be something that we have to order and it's going to take a week. Obviously, we've got a few different ladders that all have rubber on the feet. I don't know whether that could be
The strength.
the platform that's then that end can, you know, the rubber can wedge itself on the ramp and then it come out and sit on the rung of another ladder or something.
Good idea.
You little monkey. Hey. Thank you. You iron up the future domain.
I think he's looking at the back window because it's so bright, isn't it? It's so bright with the sun coming through. Going to be such a nice space in there. Yeah, go daddy, go daddy. Build that cabin.
Okay, so this is a risky part. I mean, I'm very aware of how this looks, but that side's actually locked into that ladder, so that's all good. This side, we've got rubber, supported it either way. It's not gonna slide back. I would not go on this if I didn't think it could take me. I'm still gonna tread very, very carefully though. To use the clamps a lot putting these battens on, way more than I would have liked to. I thought I might have had to kind of manhandle the odd one here and there to get it straight. Normally this dimension of batten is fairly stable and straight, but for some reason this lot I've got, as soon as they got cracked out of the pack, they just seem to be very all over the place, so it slowed me down a fair bit. Anyway, that's pretty much all the battens done. I've still got all of the corners to do, but they're a bit of a different construction, so hopefully I'll get to them later this afternoon. And you'll see I'm missing smaller battens up here. That's because, so you can see there, a little bit of conduit poking out the wall. That's for an exterior light out the front. We've actually decided we want one on that far end now as well, so I need to run a wire and a conduit up and round and over here, down here, and then we're going to go underneath to get us on the other side. I never enjoy this job. I'm going to attempt to do a bit of pushing, a bit of pulling with my wire. We'll see how we get on. It's quite a long length I need to get through here, so this is not going to be enjoyable. Ooh. It's tight. Squeeze. Woo. Shuffle along. Oh. Got twigs going up my bum. So once this big pile of dirt is gone, this area around here is going to be a nice seating area, and we're going to have lights. Where are we? One there, one there. a little bit higher up to try and keep the bugs away from us when we're sat down. At the moment though, there's not going to be any lights around the back or on that other end. We've obviously got one at the front. So what I'm doing for now is where I've just run the cable underneath, that's going to go to a junction box. That's going to give a bit of flexibility. So if we decide later on we want to add some more, I've just got to connect it down there. Anyway, let's get these other two lights up. So now that all that wiring's done, it's time to move on to the corners and how we address them. So obviously there's going to be a batten on the end of the two faces of the building that come together. Now, if you end up with those two pieces coming together and you try and mitre it to have it look clean, the likelihood is with that expanding and contracting, that at some point it's going to end up looking... So what I'm going to do is... So to fill that void, have a post come in like that. What that then does is that gives a neat finish for starters. I cannot hold these with one hand. Right, I'm gonna have to lose one of these. That one's gone. Imagine that one's there. So now that you've got that, there's now an edge for the cladding to come up to, so that can just come up to there and be cut down there. Same on this side. It sounds easy, but I'm not sure it's going to be that easy. God, the wind is really picking up. Okay, let's go. There we go. See that? Oh. Right, I've pulled in the reinforcements. Okay, so you're just going to be holding it in place. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you got it?
I think so.
Looks like he's bowing out.
We decided we couldn't trust our own eyeballs, so Ricky's just fetched the straight edge. How are we looking?
I can't honestly understand what's happening here. Well, that's a 2 metre straight edge.
Right.
It's flush to it, basically all the way, apart from a couple of mil at that top end.
Okay.
And a couple of mil at the bottom end, which is to be expected because that's the only place I put screws in, so I pulled it in a bit.
Right, so what does this mean? The wall's not straight?
I don't know what it means because I'm looking at that piece of wood and it doesn't... I can't figure out why it looks bowed. I can't figure out if it's just an optical illusion because of the lines on the... on there. They're not dead straight, but it's not like we've got that exactly level. Or maybe that's it. Maybe it's just that piece of plate coming down. It's making it look like it bulges out. I mean, the reality is it's plumb.
Yeah.
And it's straight.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have to put it in.
And hope for the best.
Well, yeah, just hope that once the actual cladding's on and we cover up all of these contradicting lines, it will be okay.
Okay. I mean, if it's plumb, it's plumb. It's plumb. It'll be fine.
If it's plumb, it's plumb.
If it's plumb... Nice little snort there, Ricky.
That's Harrison. He's cracking up. a bit of a shorter day for me today because I've had some other stuff going on, but we are one more corner down. I'm confident I'm going to have enough time to get the back 2 corners done as well. Hopefully I'll have some time to get some other bits done as well, because I would really like to get on to getting some cladding on tomorrow. I've got to be honest, I've been struggling with these corner posts a bit because nothing is truly straight, the posts included, and obviously they're quite chunky, so trying to manhandle them to get them straight is near on impossible. So it's a little bit of a balancing act to just get it looking right to the eye. Also make sure it's as plumb as it can be, because where all the boards are going to join it, if it's not plumb, it's going to be a dead giveaway. So I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that the corner, the final one, is done. The bad news is that I just got stung by a wasp. I don't know what is going on. That's the 3rd time that I've been stung in as many days. But this one wasn't so bad. This one's just on my calf, so it's just a little bit of a sting. Do I want to put this on the internet? Whatever, strap in. So I've just got out of the shower, drying myself down, and I can see lurking at the window, there was a bit of a shadow, and it sort of caught the corner of my eye and then it disappeared. Carried on drying myself down, saw the shadow again. A snake starts rearing its head through the window. So I bashed it out through the window, ran outside in my boxer shorts, had a mop. I was stood up on a wall trying to get this thing out of the gutter, trying to back it up, but I couldn't quite reach it to hook it. So I was bashing the gutter just to try and get it to back up. What I hadn't realised was that there was a big old wasp's nest in the downpipe off the gutter, and whilst I was focused on the snake, there was evidently a load of buzzing around me, and 2 wasps, or maybe it was the same one actually, got me right on the bum, square on the cheek. So managed to get the snake out, and I came inside, got an ice pack, and a bit of a weird sight, but I was stood naked in the kitchen with an ice pack on my bum. Victoria was enjoying the sight, but not in the way that most men would want their partner to enjoy them, stood naked in the house. She couldn't stop laughing. So yeah, did a great job for my ego that day. But anyway, I've got about half an hour left today, so I'm gonna whiz around and finish up our little pest screen. So I need to staple every single one of these on both the bottom of the battens as well as the top on all 4 sides of the cabin. I completely forgot about these 3 pieces of conduit out the back that need to be hidden behind the cladding between the battens. I didn't have everything I needed, so I've had to make myself a bit of a makeshift coupling to join the interior piece to the piece outside. With this corrugated stuff, you can kind of lock it in, so it makes quite a good connection. Then I've just wrapped it in electrical tape to get it moisture, watertight, and just keep it all stuck together. And then because I've had to open up the mesh at the bottom to have them run through, I've then just smothered all around them with a flexible silicone where it's had to make a hole and pass through my insect mesh, because I still want to try and keep that tight and stop the little critters getting in. I never actually explained what these are for. So one is for an earth wire coming out to go to a ground rod. The other one is for the electric feed in. And then that final one is going to be for our aircon. So that's going to run out. There'll be another piece of conduit here that will run into down to there, and it will join the compressor down there. Speaking of AC, there's a chance that ours might be installed as early as next week. Might not happen, but there's a possibility. So I'm going to start on the back, because that's where all the pipe work for the AC is coming out, and the gas pipes are too big to fit behind the cladding, so they need to fit on the outside on top of the cladding, and until I've got all this clad, no AC can be fitted. So I want to get that done first. It's the biggest wall out of the lot, so hopefully I'm not throwing myself in at the deep end here. Right, how am I going to do this? I need more hands. So obviously this first row is paramount to how successfully the rest is going to go on, because if I get this in the right place, the right starting position, it's all level, then stacking everything else on top is going to be easy. But this is obviously tricky because I'm trying to hold it up and get it in the right position. Plus I need to get it spaced from that corner post. Could do with being an octopus right now. Okay, so that's the first row in, completely level. Hopefully that's the hard part out of the way. Famous last words. For anybody interested in the details, so 45-degree screwing through the tongues. Obviously this first one is not inserting the groove onto a tongue, so you have to face fix this one. But when the next board is on, you won't see, not going to be a screw there. The next screw will be there and it'll be hidden, so it will look kind of clean and flush all the way up. There'll be a 3mm expansion gap between these. So currently that's wedged on, but if you imagine that lifts up a bit, just to give a bit of space for expansion and contraction. On the butt joints, 2mm gap. And then on our ends where it meets the post, a 5mm gap. Okay, so I'm going to grab myself a bit of a late lunch because I am Hank Marvin. And then I'm going to try and just press on and try and blitz as much of this as possible. I've not really got any grasp of how long this is going to take, so I'm going to time myself. In my mind, it's relatively simple. Now that I've got the bottom part level, the first row, obviously it's going to get a bit trickier when I get around the windows, but yeah, I don't know if I'm being naive there. I think experience has taught me that whatever I think it's going to be, increase the difficulty level by 2 or 3. There'll always be something awkward. So yeah, go feed my belly and then I'll crack on. Inspecting my work.
Yeah. No, I was actually looking because you've explained it to me how it was all going to come together, but I'll be honest, I just nodded and smiled at points because you were just saying, and I'm going to have here, and then this, and then that, and it's coming together, and then there's a 5mm gap, and I wasn't entirely following you, but I get what you were saying now, and it's looking smart. I like the detail on the corners, like how this bit steps out. It looks really smart. I don't know what they're called. You get those cabins that have got like the 4 posts in the corner, and then the bits that go across, they drop down.
I know what you mean.
They're really chunky.
It's like a big chunky tongue and groove thing that you just drop in.
Yeah.
The actual beams.
But that's the structure.
Yeah, it's not cladding. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a fake version of it. In a nice way, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's the vibe I'm getting. It's always a pleasure for me to come across and see what Ricky's been getting up to while I've been indoors. But the primary reason that I've come across is because I need to take some measurements. At the moment, we've got a very lovely but very empty space in here. So I've been having quite an expensive morning and pressed the trigger on getting a lot of things bought for in here. But right now I need to take a measurement of this cubby around here, and I need to find a tape measure. This is the cubby that I need to measure. It is primarily going to be for storage for our clothes. It's a couple of inches too small for the wardrobe I found. Back to the drawing board.
Right, so that is me done for the day. I've made a pretty healthy start on the cladding. I've not got as much done as I would have liked, but it was the first day doing it, so it's just been really good for feeling it all out, understanding like the pitfalls of it, trying to understand how it works, how you can maneuver it around. I'm going to try and think of some ways that when I next work on it, I can try and streamline it a bit more to try and speed things up, because seeing how this is all starting to look just on this small bit that I've done, thinking of when the whole cabin is covered, it is going to be the biggest transformation. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. Whoop. I'll see you next time.
Don't forget to check out Suri. Click our link in the description and use code LIFELIVING to get 15% off.